Disclaimer, this video has confirmed spoilers from KI. If you do not wish to know the upcoming update, I'd recommend just not watching the video. Thank you. So, it has been confirmed by KI that the next update, which is expected to be somewhere around mid to late June, will contain a new episode where we go back to Valencia once again. I believe this upcoming update is a very important and pivotal one for KI. If this update flops, I don't think there will be a future for Pirate101 that will look very bright. So let's talk about it. Alright, well, after the abysmal update that was Zigzag, which was meant to be a journey to Krokotopia, you know, the one which is kind of teased in game with one of its storm gates in Mushu. Yeah, that one. The one where they created unused islands that are currently in the Pirate101 game files. Yeah, that one. Sorry to hate on KI, but this update was such a letdown. I don't want to repeat too much of what's already been said by the community regarding Croc, and instead want to shift the focus to this upcoming expansion. In this June update, we are getting a lot of new additions. For starters, and probably the most important of them all, a new continuation into the story where we go back to Valencia Part 3. This episode has us flying back into Calabria Skyway and being able to dock at unused islands that were originally planned for Valencia Part 2, but got scrapped away and we got this version of Valencia Part 2. One of the big inclusions in this update is the expected level cap increase, which will probably be my first checkbox to determine whether or not this is a good update. I had planned to also make a video post-update to see what got checked off and what did not, so if you like this video, stay tuned for the next one. Anyways, the level cap increase is supposed to be around 72, but nobody knows for sure. If this next episode comes out and there is no new max level, I would be very disappointed, and I think a good majority of the community will as well. Questing through the game, yet receiving no new levels or powers just removes the fun aspect of Pirate. I'm currently finishing up Croc on my Buccaneer, but it's just such a pain, and it's a little bit demoralizing to persevere through fights and not seeing any progress in my actual Pirate. I really hope there's a level cap increase coming up in June. With the new episode, there is also expected to be not only new areas to sail to, but possibly new mobs as well. Personally, I don't really care if reused mobs from previous worlds or even Wizports are used in building new content. The problem is if only reused mobs and ports are used. This will be my second checkbox. The files are there, KI, for Pirate101 exclusive new models. Please use them. The third checkbox of things I want to see in the update is an improvement to the story. Besides all the bugs present in Zigzag, the story has taken such a bad turn. Oksana is such a random addition to the story. A necromancer? Really? I can see the light where at some point a pirate and wizard duel 1v1, but not like this. The Zigzag episode had so many red herrings in it. Atmoplex does a good little analysis on this on their devlog regarding recent changes to Pirate, and I hope those errors could be tweaked and fixed to better suit the story post-Kane. Alright, now that I've mentioned what each of my main questions are coming into this update, here are some expectations. Obviously, this goes without saying, but I don't demand any of these changes be implemented. It's just my 2 cents on solutions to the problems mentioned before. For the level cap. Now, the current expectation is it will increase, but not sure what the max level will be. It's very awesome to get an increase, but I do understand that they can't make 5 levels out of one particular episode. But I think there is something KI could do to make it be 75 or even 80 with only one episode. The questline leading up to Valencia Part 3, Sinbad, Tartarus, and Krokotopia all give 0 XP currently. This was intentional because KI was not, I guess, ready to increase the levels. So instead of making the upcoming episodes give us like 2 levels only, they could simply add XP to the previous episodes mentioned before and continue onwards and sum it up to 75. There can also be, let's say, a certain dungeon at the end of the episode that you cannot port into, kind of like Zigzag, that always rewards XP if you complete it. That way, the current players who are caught up and will only have enough XP for 72, or whatever the level might be, could keep redoing the final dungeon and level themselves up to be 75 to be on track. While also not making it portable so new accounts can't just power level to max. My only concern is if this were to be implemented, is that somehow people will find a way to sneak low-level players to power level. They always find a way. New Pirate101 exclusive content. Thanks to Atmoplex, there are some unused models and animations, including Queen variations of the Armada, as well as a few Unicorn models. Apparently there's talks about Roberto being a Wizport, but whatever. Now, nobody knows what mobs are fully confirmed, but I hope to see some of these in June. Again, I'm gonna restate this. I do not care that much if reused mobs, areas, or skyways are included in new content. There's been recent lash from the community regarding the idea of skyways. A majority of the community does agree that they fully understand. The Pirate 101 team is not large, meaning no large updates are happening with the snap of a finger. We are completely fine with reusing old skyways and modifying them just a bit to create new ones. For those who watched the Darkmoor fan video, did you know the skyway implemented for Darkmoor was Port Regal? Because I didn't. I had this take regarding new skyways in particular. I'm pretty sure that if KI made a new skyway, and all they did was copy and paste a pre-existing one from like Monquista or Cool Ranch, recolored it, and removed the skyway specific models like the islands or the Catspaw, for example, that a good majority of the community, probably like 80%, would not see a problem. They'll either just not care or be blissfully unaware. The last concern I have with this upcoming update is the story. Now, for starters, I do not like the ending of Valencia Part 2. Those unused mobs mentioned earlier are part of what Valencia 2 was supposed to be. As much as I don't like the Valencia 2 ending, I'll still accept it. They even left off on a fine cliffhanger. What's the Armada's plan post-Kane? Would Queen take the spotlight and become the leader of the Armada now? Would Fool become a future companion? The whole Oksana thing is just a sour turn in my eyes. I actually read a pretty funny take earlier that, ironically, they could make Oksana herself a red herring and just continue onwards with Queen as the main antagonist in Valencia Part 3. They even have Queen variations of the Armada Court, so a new story direction where we still go to El Dorado. In Sinbad Part 3, it's learned that the crystals in the machine was a farce, giving us incentive to still reach it. This can be accompanied with Queen and her recreated court racing us to the Golden City. Now, I don't doubt Sam Johnson, the man responsible for the entire story of Pirate, to deliver an absolute banger of a story, but it's my 2 cents of how progression can be directed. And I don't mean to create any more pressure on KI, but this is the reality. A lot of the community was so disappointed with Zigazag as a whole, and KI, in my opinion, is purposely creating problems with the updates in between. For example, the Hockey League's update's main issue was the Doom Laurel drop rate was insanely low, making it borderline impossible to promote. This super low drop rate is meant to give incentive to players to stay busy farming, and I get that, KI. But if you make content which is extremely difficult to complete, it only disincentivizes players to farm. The same problem occurred with the Agrabah Job Gauntlet, where players would farm the gauntlet numerous times and not receiving any of the obtainable gear. I've personally done it like 20 times and I've yet to retrieve 1 gear piece. Why farm for something that's so unobtainable? By the way, I want to include this here. The Doom Laurel drop rate got fixed to being a decent drop rate, coincidentally right before the next farming simulator, the Agrabah Job Gauntlet, was dropped. It's a snake tactic if KI is purposely making these updates have low drop rates so players are hopelessly busy while they create the next thing. I'm just saying, if these Agrabah drop rates suddenly increase around June time, I'll lose some respect for KI. Overall, my honest belief is that this upcoming summer update is a very pivotal one. If the update does well, I think the community will be hopeful for the future. I'm so happy there's finally some continuation to the Pirate story. I'm so happy to see the community grow with more people entering the Pirate Discord. What I don't want to see is more players who have been waiting for years to see low quality, low effort inclusions and to be sapped a few extra bucks from their wallets before they permanently leave for good. I personally came back to Pirate when Tartarus came out, and although I do understand the situation they're in with resources, I get it, it's hard to justify paying real life money for low quality content. I think a lot of the community feels the same way, and if more low effort content gets added, the patience these players have for this game to get back on its feet will quickly dissipate.